Breaking news. France try to kill Ivory's new military leader. This is a breaking news. Near Ekoswa Yendimuno. The culture said they are not there to protect the nation, but they are there to protect their interest. Said the Beya Watara inferior because Watara free to say pa. Ivorians no the omna basic from said the Ekoswa Burkina Faso. Now the Emma we say a year so alarming. They say Omo Yama and Shea the Ivorians, any Burkina Faso Benya. But say Ntokaba, Magini says a strap for Nina Beboa. Amasumbi Ayajuma because Watala no Ankasano or mine on penny beam. And then I want to see say, you see, this so-called Western and Americans, they carry their troops and the soldiers to Africa without telling anybody. Almost 15 years, can be and Trobia. No, Omodi. Say, Omodi warship na Abba. Na Ejuma Ombe, they say, a soldier for Elcon. Na Oma pe on fa with the amour mine. Omumna, fancy for Ebe Kumo. Yanko tie de ekoso.
It was the end of France's most reliable ally in West Africa, and in Paris, men in suits began drafting plans, not to reverse the coup, but to erase the man who made it irreversible. If you can't take back the palace, one French advisor whispered, take out the man who's sitting in it. 3 days before the assassination attempt, a private French military jet touched down on a secluded airstrip near Thiès, Senegal. There was no announcement, no press, no trace, but AES satellites captured the arrival, and inside the plane, Alassane Ouattara. The meeting they denied. Officially, Ouattara was in exile and retired from politics. But inside a fortified estate owned by a French defense contractor, he met with two figures: a senior advisor from the Direction Générale de la Sécurité Extérieure, DGSE, France's secret service, a military commander from Operation Barkhane, still stationed unofficially in the Sahel. What they discussed was never meant to leave the room, but it did. The recording AES cyber intelligence, using intercepted signal relays, recovered fragments of an encrypted voice log. The file was shaky, corrupted, but one line was crystal clear. A French voice asked, "Do we engage full destabilization or just apply pressure?" Ouattara's voice responded, "Cut off the head, the body will panic." That phrase changed everything. It was not a metaphor. The directive. The meeting concluded with the handover of a classified French tactical dossier, codenamed Operation Mirage. Inside, reconnaissance maps of Koné's movements, drone flight plans, and diplomatic bypass codes to avoid ECOWAS detection. By the next morning, French personnel had cleared out. Ouattara returned to a coastal villa in Dakar under round-the-clock private security, but the file had already been duplicated and sent to AES. When Captain Traoré received it, he reportedly held it in silence, then said, "They're not trying to bring him back. They're trying to burn everything and hope we look away." And now the question was no longer if they would strike, but when and how hard. If we can't control him, we remove him. That was the founding line of Operation Mirage, a covert French military plan activated in silence, with no public documentation, no official oversight, and no paper trail. The objective: neutralize Commander Amadou Koné with extreme discretion. The blueprint, drafted by ex-operatives from France's DGSE and refined with help from private security firms connected to old Francafrique networks, the operation outlined 3 possible methods. Targeted drone strike. Operate at low-altitude strike during early transport convoys. Use unmarked French-made aerial systems. Internal sabotage. Infiltrate. Connay's guard rotation using ECOWAS-linked advisors. Plant a chemical agent or explosive within personal quarters. Political implosion leak false intel to AES accusing Connay of collusion with France. Trigger internal division and let the AES collapse from mistrust. Only one path was greenlit: direct elimination. The strike team. 2 operatives, both former Foreign Legion officers, were deployed to Senegal under diplomatic cover. They were equipped with Banshee-class micro-drones, capable of striking a moving vehicle without leaving any trace of origin. A 3rd operative, embedded with a private logistics firm contracted to Ivory Coast's interim government, provided route maps and real-time convoy updates. The timeline: Day 1, infiltration complete. Day 2, confirmation of Connay's schedule and movement. Day 3, launch window opens at 5:40 a.m. just outside Yamoussoukro backup plan, 2nd drone on standby. Strike again if first fails. But one thing went wrong. At 5:17 a.m., an unexpected encryption burst from AES cyber units redirected Connay's route 3 kilometers north. 17 minutes later, the first drone missed its primary target. But 2 soldiers died, and Connay was shaken and furious. He didn't go into hiding. He didn't flee the country. He looked directly into the camera hours later and said, "France tried to erase me with a machine. Now I will erase their silence with truth." Just hours after the failed drone strike near Yamoussoukro, a secured AES line buzzed to life in the temporary bunker where Commander Amadou Connay had taken refuge. On the screen, a dim-lit room in Ouagadougou and the face of a man who had already survived these shadows. Captain Ibrahim Traoré. He didn't waste time. "You're alive. That was the last quiet attempt. The next will be louder and messier." Connay didn't speak at first. His eyes were still bloodshot from the blast, his voice hoarse from inhaling smoke. "They killed 2 of my men, boys who had nothing to do with power. They just believed in it." Traoré nodded, slow and grim. "That's how they work. They strike first at belief, not bullets." Brotherhood, born in fire. The 2 men weren't allies by contract. They were brothers by conviction. Traoré had faced the same shadow games in Burkina Faso, mercenaries disguised as peace.
The internal battle is not ended at Côte d'Ivoire. And my question is the resurrection of Ouattara, it is true that this man has resigned? Internal yina ekosuno omo njaye o. Da ni nyina ni say what is so kan bro for ma men kan twi church o. What is France asraf no ebo modern so on bekum nia odiku nanimu. Enti mo a na mo ka say bibian si wo Ivory Coast no. Bibi cause why? Bibi koso. Adentina Ouattara ma bonti mekasa. Now we have not heard from him, not from his ministers. Now the voice of the Ivorians is not out. One tifi biemu mfilo mhono. One tifi nti bibi koso. Na nia ekoso nyina no nia eta akire ni se omumma Ibrahim Traoré kwan ma all pretty na but tiny because papa watan so fie bebre no obianka na obe aden na yesamri because France phone to me emfa be say no ya pan wo mo free Burkina Faso. enti on pese omo yusu Cote d'Ivoire say eye omo nyina so because eho ye Africa omo so ne Burkina Faso boshi and is a could be a sea war Ivory Coast indirectly and tokwa e koso wo Burkina Faso and the Ivory Coast na enkosi da ben na o wadwen say eba say ya chiri because you wo chiri wo won na twa ni chi a na de aka nyina ya homa enti obi o ya taje sei emma the movement a ekoso Burkina Faso no Ouattara that old man odwene nkokora adwene anka wo bia wadure sei no anka wo no afutuo na anka wo de mambrante ne ba wan na anka won atumi akọ anim e wo de yema ai o de say bibi man but antisa le ombe boa na France fo na di nkunim na abibi fo no da so e wo yamani mo ejodi ami no nkasa enche de course any kwanya na yumhye ne eba obi amama ne enso na botaye wo mu ni se omo de beye de omo ankasa pe banyame o mekwan yo so you heard it all. It is time for you to pray for Africa. Pray for Ibrahim Traore. Pray that the peace of God will be established in Africa. Because Africa has suffered a lot. Bompaye Emma wan kasa wa bibi man. Na bompaye ma Ibrahim Traore. Na bompaye ma Burkina Faso. Na Awurade bambɔ nya dwuma na asrafo no nso a ɛwɔ Africa no. You have a common understanding, sir. This is the time for us to fight for our right. Say, I'm sorry, Samre, I'm rebieni. This is the time. This is the time. Mreno in this Samre. I was a bibi man, Nina, na kia jibom, Pamon Crofo, we free as Yasuko. Mofa yum share she no maba. Yasun to me in Cosa. Ya na yempani for them money jipas and motis and manum be a fastest woman na a be woo. Be too quiet near ya or more femu. She say, oh, your leader, I will be memoir. Yana a yaw dessert. Now, what's an incrofu way I had drink say, ye make quiet may be before and sorry that. Now, Ocas in Yanko from Beshop side of your own. Mammy found see a watty. Now, your bonfire said, near maybe as she says, she will be an emerabonty. Dear not all can or say, a credible. Say, a dear, I see. That means the internal battle is still going on at Cote d'Ivoire. Womoba BBNC koso. Yaminsha so anya da je chi no ahwe. Bye bye.